Hello, beautiful Agatha Mind family. Welcome again to another wonderful update. Thank you so dearly for always supporting. I really appreciate. If you are just coming across this wonderful family for the first time, or you are seeing my face for the first time, I still remain your one and only Agatha Progress, bringing you the news back to back. Remember, we react to all videos and your opinion is highly needed in the comment section. So carry your popcorn. Let's dive into what's happening today.
There's no trial in the first place. Because if you're talking about trial, it appears as if facing trial in the first place.
All right.
As we had earlier mentioned to the public, he was abducted in Kenya. So sometime June 26th, 2021, and extraordinary rendition to Nigeria. So the process through which he was abducted and brought to Nigeria is part of issues we are canvassing before the court. Because the government is not allowed to benefit from their own wrong. If he has committed an offense done to law, they will have subjected him to necessary proceedings, what they call extradition proceedings. So in Kenya, first of all, determine whether the offense allegedly committed by him fall within the principle of laws or the offenses that can be tried under that proceedings. So, but they abducted him and brought him here forcibly. So, and these are part of the objections we are raising before the court. So there hasn't been any trial in the first place because what we are saying that the court cannot proceed on that matter. So, and also we have other fundamental issues we raise in our objection to the charge filed against him. So they filed an amended 7-count charge against him. So, and we filed an objection to the competence of the charge. So, and also jurisdiction of the court to proceed with the hearing. And when such an objection is filed, the court will first of all, will not take further step. Will first of all hear and determine whether the court has jurisdiction to entertain the charge in the first place. So before we talk about trial, so there hasn't been any trial. And there are bound to be confusion because the confusion apparent in what has been playing out is the fact that the federal government is running from pillar to pole, trying to get something to nail them with. But in the end, they came out with worthless paper which they filed in court. And I would believe so most strongly that if the court hear the application on the merit, I don't think we'll go back to that court again. The court will discharge him and acquit him. Because the 7-count charge, another charge filed against him, did not disclose the offense known to law. And those arguments have been canvassed in our objection before the court. I wouldn't want to go into the substance or otherwise of the argument to raise in court because the matter is this. So that's where we are today. So in that true sense, there's no trial going on now. So we are still at the preliminary stage for the court to hear the objection of file and make pronouncements on it one way or the other to enable us to take further steps. So of course, last adjournment, that was a penultimate adjournment was on November 10th. What played out in court is a matter of public knowledge. So when the court eventually adjourned the matter to January 19th and 20th, even when we are at the court, we are not allowed in. So we went back to the court to apply for the court to abridge time within which to hear their application substantially. So because we are urging the court to hear our objection at stand now. So, and in view of the enabling laws, Section 396 of the ACJA and also Section 6A of the Federal High Court Practice Direction of 2013, also out of the position that the court that this kind of case must be had a day to day as we progress. So there is no basis for court to adjourn it to January. So, but pursuant to that application, the court fixes a day for the hearing of the application, and we made an effort to urge the court to hear our objection yesterday, which the court declined from hearing, insisting that he's not ready to hear the application. What actually came up yesterday was an application for time abridgment, which the court had and granted. So, and the court ran through his diaries, and also to confirm to the public and also including the press that the schedule is busy, as such he cannot be able to hear us before January 18. So he has satisfactorily proven to the world, not only us people who are there, because I believe when press are in court, the world is also listening, so that others is occupied to hear the application. But proceeded to make far-reaching orders portion to applications. And those orders are now before the public domain. Order that has to do with giving him maximum possible comfort. In that regard, take him out of where he's being kept now, and also allowing him to practice religion, because since he was brought here to the 29th of June 2021, portion to the order of court, he hasn't been allowed to practice his faith, so religious faith. So the court made order yesterday that you allowed him also providing with Gumbia.
Can we talk about that? Is that normal? Should the court have to say you're allowed to do this before it happens?
You see, there is nothing normal associated with the conduct of the SSS. Of course, you know, if you don't know, you know it now. They are good in flouting court orders. This is not the first time we've seen it. It happened 2015 when he was arrested in Lagos. Nnamdi Kanu was arrested in Lagos on October 14th, 2015. Brought in here. Then the court made an order. They already before the magistrate court here, which was 2. That same court granted him bail. The court they arrested him before granted him bail. They refused to allow him to go. They took him to Federal High Court. Federal High Court, Ademola J, as he then was, also admitted him to bail unconditionally. They should release him unconditionally. The SSS flouted that order. They didn't release him. Subsequently, filed some spurious and stupid charge against him, which we contested in court. And out of that 11-count charge, because of the proceeding, the court struck out 7. Eventually, admitted him to bail. So they have the history of flouting court order. So, but the court warned yesterday that if in the event any of these orders he made yesterday, is flouted by SSS, we should come back to her. So, regardless of the court's schedule, I will come back to her and file affidavit of facts to demonstrating the violation of the orders he made yesterday. So, I believe they will take it serious now. So, the court made far-reaching orders as to his condition of stay in SSS, which I believe that order will sustain him till future development. So, but I believe they filed the order. We'll go back to court. If they filed it today, we'll go back to court tomorrow.
All right. So
thank you.
Let's talk about the strictness or the behavior of the DSS, as you put it, for this specific case, the case of Nnamdi Kanu now. I wonder, I don't know what your thought is about this. Do you think this scrutiny and this strictness is due to, other than the fact that Nnamdi Kanu is a voice for, he has the, what I call it, the attention of millions of people. Other than that, could it also be the fact that he fled the country in 2017? People say that he technically didn't jump bail because his life was threatened. But do you think he could have done it another way? Do you think that is why the DSS is so concerned about letting him slip away again, so to speak?
The DSS is merely acting under the script given to them, acting under the directives. So, however, before I proceed, let me correct this impression. Nnamdi Kanu didn't at any point in time jump bail. So the issue of jumping bail does not arise. Because when he was admitted to bail that should be on 17th of April, 2017, on the conditions given to him, he went home, announced to the people, followers and the public, that he's coming to court. He was coming to court on October 14th, when the matter was scheduled to be heard. So it was 17.
Yes.
So, and he was getting set. We have taken him on pre-trial conference, pre-trial briefing. So get him set, ready for the trial, scheduled to commence on October, before his house was invaded on September 14th, a month before the trial. They set for the trial. So, and during this bloody invasion, over 28 persons were killed by security agents, the army, the police. Apparently, SSS was part of them that invaded, though they may not play significant and prominent role as same, but they were part of them. So, but killed over 28 persons there. So now it's only a non-living object that will see a threat coming to take his life and stay. So by out of sheer providence, he narrowly escaped being killed. So now, what quickly comes to mind is circumstance. Now, this is a person who is in the country. This is a person who was scheduled to be in court on October 14th to face his trial. And now, assuming without considering to the fact that he committed an offense known to law in the course of enjoying the bail granted him by the court, the federal government, the security agents are aware that he's coming back to the courts on 14th. A civilized society, an organized society, a society that has rules of law, perspective of law, we have waited for him to come to court. There's no law that says that if you, in the course of enjoying bail granted you by the defendant by the court, and they committed an offense in the course of that, they cannot be charged for those new offenses. They can still be charged. So we are waiting for him to come to court. Then possibly either review the charge, amend the charge filed against him, or possibly interrogate him with leave of court on further offenses committed during the time he was enjoying his bail. These are simple things. And it's more so when the federal government had filed an application to revoke his bail, pending before the court, before the invasion of his house. So that shows you simply that they didn't want him alive. So they have a special, they actually want him dead, not alive, at a point we're discussing. So the treatment is now being punished, I can put it that way, is now being punished, persecuted as a political prisoner. So because if he's being tried on the basis of the amended 7-count charge filed against him, I don't think we'll be talking about any trial whatsoever today. So I wish you were a lawyer. Well, I've gone through what is filed. What they filed in court is the name of amended charge. That paper is not only worthless, but it's worthless, empty. Never disclosed any offense known to law. I'm surprised that they filed such charge against Nnamdi Kanu. At some point I was thinking, I was discussing with my colleagues who are part of this case, like Ejiofor and Co. I was discussing with them, I told them, assuming, do you know my worry? Assuming this guy succeeded in killing this man in Kenya where they abducted him, what would have been his fate? So we'll come back here and be faced with this kind of watery and spurious and stupid and speculative charge.
You're saying assuming
he was killed in China. So we'll be talking about this kind of charge. So I was expecting to see something, either he has committed an offense, at least something commensurate to the kind of punishment was being subjected to at the point he was abducted. Let me just put it this way. If somebody committed an offense, an offense of a serious nature, and is being haunted by the establishment or a security agent, the person, the force that will put in place in getting the person arrested will somehow be commensurate to the allegation of offenses allegedly committed, which they are being pursuing for. Somebody cannot come to my office here and possibly steal my phone, or probably my shoe, or my beak. Then I'll tell SAS, or whatever you call them, SWAT or whatever, to go after him and get him arrested. Of course, in the course of pursuing him, they may kill him. So, and those things, is just a mere act of stealing. So, I'm surprised that they filed this kind of charge against him. So now, he's not there because he committed an offense under law.
So you were here expecting something graver?
No. They will be making heavy weight about it. That Nnamdi Kanu has done this, done that. We know he never committed an offense. This is a person who is merely exercising his right as contained in the Constitution. Right to self-determination is an inalienable right. Cannot be taken away from the citizen. So he's advocating for self-determination. So it's not an offense under our law. It's a right sanctioned, backed up by law. So now, if he's arrested for committing an offense in relation to that, or probably allegedly committed an offense at the cost of exercising his right, then I expected, in the manner in which he was abducted, that the offenses allegedly committed would be serious offenses. We know he never committed an offense until when he brought him to Nigeria and filed this stupid charge against him. So he's now in custody. Yes, custody, not because he committed an offense. He's there because the government wants him to be there. And they have an instruction from the government on the way and manner he is to be treated. So this is what we are challenging before the court. That he hasn't been convicted.
All right, but
he's still presumed innocent under our laws. and is fully entitled to his full rights as contained under Chapter 4 of the Constitution.
All right. Let's try and connect the timeline from when, like you said, when you're afraid for your life, it makes sense that you should, flee or something. But since then, it's been 3-4 years or so, and in the course of that, he has been vocal outside the country, saying different things and all that. If perhaps really the government was out to, kill him, don't you think that this move to, as you've called it, abduct him, would have been quite simpler for them to, end it over there rather than bring him here to actually face the law, so to speak? Because when the other day we were speaking with the DSS spokesman, and he kept making these claims that people just like to blame them for doing nothing and they are following the law. So in that respect...
They're not following the law. You won't say it before me because I won't know. We lawyers know they're not following the law. They don't respect laws. Even in the course of this case, they have flouted number of orders made by the court. I have more than 3 committal proceedings initiated against the head of the DSS. It's in court, sir. So you serve them court order, they will choose the one to obey. Even among the terms, the orders of court made, they will choose the one to obey and the one. They will tell you they have a protocol, they have a procedure in the office, which is different from what's obtainable in court. They will try to tell you that. They don't side it out there from you. I get me. So they don't respect laws. I can establish it. I can put it to them.
No, but I'm saying that for the fact that they still
so let me correct this impression. I want you to understand this and take it seriously from me.
All right.
The game plan was to kill Nnamdi Kanu in Kenya. That was the game plan. The game plan, because we had it all. We have the information about all that had transpired in Kenya.
But it has changed now.
No, let me tell you.
Let
me tell you. You were talking about arresting him and killing him. I told you their plan was to kill him over there. But what saved Nnamdi Kanu was when he was abducted in Nairobi airport on that date, 16th of, that was 19th of June, precisely, 2021. He raised alarm. So the alarm he raised attracted people who know him. Are you with me?
Yes.
So now that puts those people that abducted him on check. Because if anything had happened to him, those people that saw him at the point he was abducted and molested would tell the world what happened. So they would have simply eliminated him from in Kenya.
But at that time, did those people know that this was?
Sure, he was. No. What happened that when he was raised alarm, when he raised alarm at point he was abducted, he was alone. He was shouting, "I'm Nnamdi Kanu." So people were coming. Then those that abducted him said, "No, he's a terrorist." I get me. So the people who abducted him there, we are shouting, "He's a terrorist." He was also shouting, "I'm Nnamdi Kanu." So people were coming. So that drama alone has given out information to the public that Israel has been arrested in Kenya, has been abducted in Kenya. I know what it means. Which is reason. So on account of that development, they became changing plans. Because if he was silently abducted without being noticed, we wouldn't be talking about him again. It's just God has saved him. So when I hear them, when I listen to them talk about that they arrested him, they would have killed him where they arrested him, these things are stupid. Because they know that if anything has happened to him during the period he was abducted, even in Kenya, the Kenya government will be in trouble. Because he raised the alarm in the airport, shouting on top of his voice that I'm Nnamdi Kanu, I don't know what's happened to me. Who are these people? People are coming. I'll have those informations. We'll have the CCTV footage of what happened in Kenya today. We'll have them. So at that point, it became difficult for them to execute their plans. So are you aware that he was subjected to all forms of inhuman treatment? He was even injected at some point in Kenya. He was maltreated, beaten, handcuffed, cuffed, taken to an unconventional place other than police custody for 8 days in Kenya before he was transferred to Nigerian security agents. So we have the footage of all that transpired in the airport. And it's before the court now in Kenya. So that was what saved him. So when they talk about sparing his life, didn't forget about it, it's just a mere, because they have nothing to add to it again. Because God saved him. Let me just put it this way. God saved him.
All right. But based on the amended charges you've been mentioning, don't you think there's so much, would I call it, evidence out there against your client? I mean, we have videos of him saying
No, forget about it. See, you're not a lawyer. You're not competent to discuss this. Let me say this to you. I don't want us to go into the video or whatever. Because have the laws guiding what you're discussing now.
Yeah.
We'll have the laws guiding the admissibility of piece of evidence in court.
All right.
We'll have the law guiding commission of offences. We'll have the law guiding utterances, mere word of mouth. So I wouldn't want to go into the merit or otherwise of the charge. But
don't you think the federal government will be presenting some of these things as...
No, what I'm saying, those things does not disclose any offense in our law. And that's why I can teach you that for you to understand, because I'm not a lawyer. Unless you go to law school and come back, then you come for lecture.
All right.
So, and I wouldn't want to delve into the substance of that aspect, because we have dealt with it in our objection. If you have access to our objection or filing, because it's in public, you go through our objection and see what you said about those things. So, and those amended charges have not disclosed the offense, not to law he committed. So that's simple. They have it. They know. They know. They responded. We file a reply on law. They have it.
But don't you think they are very confident of whatever they
are not
have?
Confident. They can't even. Why are they? What are they doing in court? Why is that they've not set the date for the hearing of the application? Are you with me?
Yeah.
If there's any offense committed, I mean, God, we have had that thing yesterday, or even at last adjourned date, and rule on it. Even you, a layman, if you go through what they file, and also our objection to the charge and reply on point of law and accountability, you know they have nothing to offer. They have nothing to offer. Even a better preacher who is in Wòrst market there will tell you after looking at that paper. Yeah. So they forget about video. Somebody merely expressing his opinions over the through the air or whatever it calls. So it doesn't constitute an offense on our law. It's an offense. Somebody when you speak in a
so when he says things like when
you sneeze in United Kingdom, it will consider offense in Nigerian law, in Nigerian court. It's not an offense. So I wouldn't want to go there. But let's talk something other than what is substance of what before the court.
All right, let's talk about Nnamdi Kanu himself. I know there were some back and forth about your access to him. It was limited or thereabouts. But the times that you've actually been with him, how is he? Is he spirits undeterred? You know, the treatment you allege that he's receiving from the DSS, is it affecting him? Is he remorseful in a manner of speaking, or is it still the Nnamdi Kanu that we've seen or we've been seeing on the media and everywhere else?
I believe you must have seen him in court twice or probably three times since he was abducted and brought here. So Nnamdi Kanu is I've constantly maintained my object to the public. There has been a firm spirit. So because you see, if it's somebody who should be demoralized or deterred in any form, should be somebody who committed an offense. If you arrest somebody who has not committed an offense, how can you be deterred? He's strong in spirit, firm in his convictions. As I speak today, I was with yesterday after the proceedings in court. So I know, of course, you know, he was inflicted with severe injuries and still under the pains of what happened to him in Kenya, being treated here. So, and also part of the other court medicine was that he should have access to his independent medical experts that will come and give attention. So these are part of the other court medicine. Because once an independent medical expert now, so that will give him treatment. Because don't trust in what we no longer have confidence in what is being in the medical facility in the SSS. So because I'm on trial and error so far. So want somebody who is well grounded to come and examine him and also give him treatment. So that was part of the court made yesterday. And I believe hope so, that they will obey this order. Obey this order because these people, I don't trust them in any manner. They are good they have their own laws in that place. They have their own laws. So they abide by their own laws. So, and they will tell you that these are procedures for them to do these things. So let me see what happens between them, probably within the week, because if they flout the order, we'll go back to court.
All right, so we're almost rounding up now. But let's move away a little bit from what's going on at the moment. There have been attempts or move by Igbo elders, Igbo groups, to find what they call a political solution. As a legal practitioner, what's your say on this? Do you think it's even worth any merit for someone to say, okay, let's go through this and say, let's put things aside, forget about the trial or the road to trial, and just let sleeping dogs lie and let's make peace, or so to speak. As a legal practitioner, what do you think about this alternate routes that some Igbo elders are taking?
Okay, settlement out of court or resolution of matters out of court is a procedure sanctioned under our rules of court. So obviously, me and you are aware that what Nnamdi Kanu is facing today in court is a political trial. It's not a conventional trial because he has not committed an offense. If Igbo elders are of the view that they should explore political solution to resolving a political trial, then it's allowed. I encourage them to do that because he's not facing a trial. Because they know he has not committed offense, otherwise they will open up the case for him. But of course, they're exploring political solution to situations we found ourselves today in court. It's a welcome development. So.
All right. One more thing. You said you were with him just yesterday, but we also know Senator Nnamdi Kanu was also visited him recently, and I think you were not quite okay with that arrangement. What exactly are your objections to others having access to him?
You know, when somebody in the class of Nnamdi Kanu is in a problem or in a situation we are discussing now, some political jobbers will like to, through that process, advance their political interests. So what Ejiofor Kanu is in substance doing is to advance his political interests. It wasn't genuine in his visit to Nnamdi Kanu at all, and I condemn it. So I will issue a statement in a couple of hours coming to discuss further on his mission to DSS and what he did there when he went to see Nnamdi Kanu. So because the court made a guideline and protocol for visitation. So anybody who is going to visit Nnamdi Kanu must at all times go along with his wife, at least one. So though they call expanded persons visiting him to be 3 persons, but one of them must be a lawyer to be present at the point of visit. Now, we've been doing this for the past few months with DSS. A person who hasn't come to visit Nnamdi Kanu before, once you arrive DSS, first of all, we notify the DSS in advance that Mr. XYZ is coming to visit him along with XYZ person. Formally notify them in writing. This the text and guideline courts gave us. So upon arrival, they first of all notify the people who are in charge of the matter about our presence and about the presence of a new person who's coming to visit him. If the new person who is coming to visit him is cleared by the people who are receiving us, then he will be asked to pass through a procedure. They will take his pictures, take other things they usually do there, then before they will allow us in. This has been extant from time go. Even the brothers passed through this process. The wife, the wife, his biological wife, who came from all the way from UK to see him, passed through this process. So now, and all visited him and left. So, on the day scheduled for Ejiofor Kanu's visit, we only called in the morning. That was on today's Thursday, right? It's on Friday. That was on Monday this week. So we only called in the morning to be notified by one of the Nnamdi Kanu's siblings that Ejiofor Kanu made a contact with them and he wants to see him. And I expressed concern that the notice was impromptu because we expected to furnish DSS the particulars of people visiting at least for 8 hours before they visit. That has been to be fair with them, that has been the procedure. To enable them go do other things they want to do with them, or probably profile the person and all whatnot. So, but notice was impromptu. I was like, I don't think they will allow him in because he's just coming, being notified, he's then being supplied to them this morning. Then I said, okay, we have to amend our list to include his name that morning. He went there that morning with Ejiofor, one of our lawyers, and also Chinwume is our head of chambers that day. And visit time, as clearly stated in the court's order, is from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Though it can be altered at discretion of the SSS, subject to their schedule when we come. There are times we come, they will be of the protocol, they waste time till 3 o'clock to see him. We can still stay there till 5 o'clock or 5:30 as case may be. So, but in any event, you will not go in there before 2. You will not go in there before 2 to see him. So upon the arrival, before 2 p.m. They waited for Ejiofor to see him. Then they went in. They were allowed to come in. I mean, Ejiofor and Ejiofor, they were allowed to come in. Only for them to be told upon arrival to visit them. Because Ejiofor came and visited and left. Now, these are questions begging for answer. Who authorized Ejiofor's visit? In violation of the court guideline, who authorized it? DSS. Has it happened before? No. Now, the worst part is that DSS officials who conducted that visit told Nnamdi Kanu that somebody, very important person, was there to see him without mentioning his name to Nnamdi. And now they queried, where is Ejiofor? Any of my lawyers are there around to say no, that if somebody very important came to, they didn't mention Ejiofor's name to Nnamdi Kanu before Nnamdi went there. And secondly, the place of visit, the visit was conducted, was not a convenient place, was not a conventional place we usually conduct visit. So the man came there, conducted a visit in a separate office where people were present and made some terrible comments, which I may not like to mention here, but it will contain in my write-up.
You can go ahead and mention.
So assuming somebody went to visit Nnamdi Kanu, and they authorized, first of all, they authorized him to go against the guideline. Two, they allowed him to come to conduct the visit in an office, under the conventional place we usually visit him. Three, he came in there without mentioning his name to Nnamdi, that he was the one coming to see him. Because usually, Nnamdi usually informed us, and we have discussed about a person who's coming to see him at next date, without mentioning his name. Then only for my client Nnamdi Kanu to come to the office. I don't want to mention the office. And some people there, but he wasn't there alone. There are some people who were there, about 4 different persons or 3 different persons, observing what he told him. He went there to tell Nnamdi, why did you run away from your house in 2017? During the time your house was invaded by the Nigerian soldiers. We have stayed back, and nothing will happen to you. So ordinary, it can be interpreted at best that he wasn't even happy that Nnamdi Kanu is alive today. If somebody who passed through this process, you were in your house, some people came invaded your premises and killed people in their numbers. Then, ordinarily, they came for you. And killed people in their numbers. You know, those people who are ordinarily killed if they have seen you. But God saved you. And someone came to see you just a few days ago to ask you why didn't you stay back? Are you seeing the intent? Do you understand the motive now? And proceeded to discredit the effort being made by great respected Igbo elders to negotiate, to discuss with the federal government on possible political solution to the matter. And nothing more left.
What response do you think he was expecting from Nnamdi Kanu?
What are you expecting to respond? Nnamdi told you, how can he stay? How can he stay? Some people came to his house to kill him. And kill 28 persons, living objects, living human beings, not animals. In the process, they have killed him. So you can now see there is more to it than meet the eyes. So I will make it public today, and I'll demand an explanation from Ejiofor Kanu to tell us why he went to ask Nnamdi Kanu those questions. He was very there to advance his political interests, if I can say. He wasn't there in real sense of it to see Nnamdi Kanu, to discuss something genuine with him. People have been saying him. Our respected Igbo leaders went to see him. And the visit was authorized in line with the guideline. When I mean respected Igbo leaders. They had discussions with him. The visit was also conducted in the conventional place where we just sit and discuss with him. Did nobody comment? Did nobody complain? These are genuine people who have good intentions. So I may not wish to comment further because I'm going to deal with this issue in my write-up in the next couple of hours. I'll address him properly. I'll speak to him in a language you understand. I'll address him properly.
All right.
Thank
All
you.
right, now finally, to round up, is there anything you actually want to say about the whole process that perhaps has not come up yet, something you want to get off your chest? And also, what's your conviction about how this is going to turn out?
No, I know that Nnamdi Kanu will be released unconditionally. There's no two ways about it.
If he isn't?
I'm just telling you he will release unconditionally. That's what happened. Because he has committed an offense unto law. We know what's obtainable in this country. We know what's happening in northern states. We know people have been committing offense. We know what's playing out there. We have all the information with us.
But there's an interview of yours where you say you're not sure if you'll get a fair trial. Do you still stand by that?
No, there will be no trial in the first place. There will be no trial.
Oh, all
so
right.
It's not, the trial will not go on. I can assure you there will be no trial. There will be no trial. If they refuse, I don't want to go into details of what's our strategy, but there will be no trial.
All right.
You can't subject an innocent person to trial. That's settled. It can't be trial. It must be released unconditionally. So they can probably explore that process through resolving whatever they are talking about. But I don't want to concern. He hasn't committed an offense of law, deserving of him facing a trial, any form of trial. And also, the offenses being charged. The charge filed against him did not disclose any offense. I will oblige you a copy of what to file objection to the charge before you leave. Right. So when you go home, you say you have to open a file. Maybe when you come back, you read one page. Tomorrow, another page. You read page by page. Before you conclude within the week, you understand what you're talking about. It's just it was kind of written in a Langman language. I don't think it's too cumbersome for you not to understand, or legalistic for you not to understand. Thank you so much.
All right, Mr. Ifeanyi Ejiofor, thanks very much for coming on Top Talk and for shedding more light on this matter.
Thank you so much.
Can you relate to the rate of suffering that His Excellency Nnamdi Kanu is going through right now in DSS custody? More than before, just because the lawyer came out to tell the world that DSS, they are maltreating him. Now they do the thing is now times 20. The suffering is real. And let's keep sharing the video so that the world will come to our rescue. Nnamdi Kanu have suffered a lot and you need to be happy. Now you've heard from the horse's mouth. What will you do? The only thing you can do is to keep sharing the gospel, keep sharing the video, keep telling people what is going on right now with His Excellency Nnamdi Kanu. With that, a lot of people will be aware of the latest happening. Thank you so dearly for always watching us. I really do appreciate. Please do well to subscribe if you haven't enjoyed this family, so that whenever I drop a new video like this, you will be the first to notify. Thank you so dearly once again for always supporting. I really appreciate. See you when I see you. For me to you, I say bye.